eyes supine 931336. You can make changes that'll make it easier for you to operate on your food truck, but on a deeper level, you could start to attack the problem from the root, right? You could put a band-aid on a wound, but you got to treat the wound, and that's actually going to, I think, make things easier in the long run. You got to make the harder decision, right? Hard choices, easy life. So if you think about back pain, that could come from a few different places. So I'm going to suggest some things without knowing too much information. If you want to rapidly, right, if you're looking for an effortless way to alleviate back pain, there's a few things you could do. Back pain. I mean, there's so many causes that, let's start from the toes and work our way up. So you want to search Kador Zayani, 7 postures. And the reason that you want to do that is because once you learn some of these postures by this guy Kador Zayani, you could start to spend 60 seconds a day doing them, and they're going to release tension in your toes, ankles, knees, hips, which is all connected, right? Your body's connected from fingers to toes, so as you start releasing tension in your fingers, in your elbow, wrist, shoulders, if you start releasing tension in your toes, ankles, hips, knees, hips, it's gonna start to, you're gonna start to feel where you have tension, and that's gonna release the pain in your lower back. It's gonna help you strengthen, right? You want an optimal surplus of strength in your body and in your muscles, tendons, joints, and ligaments, so that you'll no longer have this back pain, right? Because something is causing it, and it may be it could be a weak muscle group, or it could be a buildup of tension. I don't know. So this is the easiest thing that you could start to do, right? All you do, one of the first postures, Kador Zayani, is put your foot up on some type of step or a train station chair, and then all you're gonna do is, right, you want to have your feet be parallel, pointing the same way, and then you just lean in and then lean out. See if you could do that, because what this is gonna do, it's gonna open up this hip flexor, and the hip flexor is connected to your lower back. So when you're gonna release tension here, and this releases tension in your toes, in that back foot toe. It's gonna create fluid in your knee, which is actually what you want. It's gonna lubricate this knee joint. So you're here and just working in and out, and maybe start to go a little bit deeper, breathing. You could raise the hands up, and then even when I get into this position, I'll feel, and I roll my neck, I can start to feel my neck crack. So I'll notice that these positions are connected to your whole entire body. You could kind of sink in, use a hand for grips. And I was putting my grandfather through this position, and he was finding, he started to feel, he said, oh, this feels tender, or he said, this feels good, or I asked him where some tension was, right? So you could start to alternate between the left and the right leg, and just lean in, and then it starts to become a diagnosis of where tension is, what feels tender. So it allows you to start to feel how your body feels, right? Because some people's pain, they're kind of afraid to move all positions because it's so painful. So what the goal is to try and, in a very low impact way, shop around, get into the tension, get out of it. Get into the tension, get out. They say you gotta be like women. Women like to shop. This guy Dick Hartzell, he says shop around, right? Shop into the pain, feel it, kind of embrace it, because the pain is telling you something. It's telling you, it's a signal. So you gotta listen to what it's saying, what your body's saying, so that you can begin to fix it. So that's the first position. And just doing that alone for 60 seconds a day is going to help alleviate some pain. The second posture is here, right? This was difficult for my grandfather, he's 80, so this one was difficult for him to get into. You might have some, it might be easier, it might be harder for you, but you can hold here and then see if you can get your hip down here, or your leg down here, and then same thing as before, we're leaning in, and then maybe getting out, leaning in, leaning out. So that's a good one. This is a one that's really gonna alleviate some tension, because most people don't even get into these postures. So if you can start in a very low impact way, right, nice and easy, you don't want to get into pain that's above a 4, a 5, a 6. If pain's getting above a 5, I would kind of back off, right? You want to have a little bit of pain, right? 1, 2, 3 is okay, but 4, 5, 6, if you're really getting up there, that's no good, right? You don't want to tear something if your body's not ready. Okay, so the question is, can I search Cador Ziani, Ziani, search Ziani, how to decrease injuries. So he's got a book out, but he's got hundreds of thousands YouTube videos that will help you start to alleviate some back pain. Second thing is an effortless thing. It's called your shoes. Your shoes can be the reason that you're having a lot of back tension, because if you have shoes that don't allow your feet to expand, if you have shoes that have high soles, right, high soles will make it so that your ankle can work like a spring, like a shock absorber. If you've got shoes that restrict the range of motion in your toes, all these things are the perfect storm that cause tension throughout your whole entire body. So you want shoes that really allow your feet to function optimally. So there's one shoe in particular that I only own one pair of shoes, and these are them. They're called xeroshoes.com, right? XERO shoes.com, and they have a wide toe box, so it doesn't restrict toe mobility and movement. They have a zero drop sole, which means it allows your ankle to work as a shock absorber, and they have and it's a wide shoe. So it's a wide shoe, it's got a wide toe box, and it's got zero drop soles. Those are the three things you want. They say high-tech shoes, low-tech feet, right? High-tech shoes, low-tech feet. So the question is, can I invest in a minimalist shoe? There's a lot of minimalist shoes that you can choose from these days. So these aren't the only ones that are going to help relieve some tension in your back, but these are my favorites because they have shoes that don't look, right? They're not, you could wear these out to breakfast. Mine are covered in baking soda because they were getting a little smelly, so I had to deodorize them. But these are my favorite because you could wear them to dinner, or you could go out on the town, and they're simple, and they have a lot of different styles for men and women. So this is something that you might, for between $70-$80, you'll have tremendous back relief, and you'll be looking great. So I can't recommend them enough, and I have zero affiliation with them, even though I wish I did. So that's number 2. Can I invest in a pair of minimalist shoes? Number 3, back pain. You want to search Hanging by Ido Portal. So the question is, can I spend 60 seconds a day hanging from an overhang, from a ledge, even if you can't lift your body completely, right? Even if you don't have the strength to have in your hands to be suspended off the ground, even if you take hanging from a pull-up bar or a tree branch or an overhang where you can maybe take 1% pressure off the ground, 2% pressure, right? Just enough where you could start to use gravity to traction your spine. So search Hanging, IDO, right? Ido Portal, Hanging. It's called the passive hang. And if you spend 60 seconds a day doing this and develop that habit, it's going to help you strengthen your fingers, hands, wrist, elbows, shoulder. It's going to relieve tension in your neck. It's going to relieve tension in your spine, and hopefully alleviate some back pain. The fourth thing, same guy, you want to search Ido Portal, IDO space PORTL, squat clinic, because what he's going to show you how to do is how you could get into what he's going to do is he's going to show you how you could get into this low squat. And why this low squat is important is because it's going to help, again, relieve tension in your lower back. This is a natural position that a lot of humans don't get into these days, right? If you think about someone who's going to go to the bathroom in the woods, right, you got to be able to get into a squat position. So this, if you could use a hand assist. I was getting my grandfather into this position, and the lowest that he could go was about right here. So even if you could only get this low, exploring what feels good, what feels bad, where the tension is, right? Shop around. Maybe you maybe your feet feel better if they're in close. Maybe your feet feel better if they're out wide. Maybe your feet feel better if they're more parallel. Maybe they feel better if they're more splayed out, more obtuse, right? Obtuse angle. So just play around and see how it feels, and then you can start to get here, breathing, moving. So those are some 4 options that only one of them requires a money investment and the other 3 don't. So give those a try, and if they start to work, maybe pull the trigger on a pair of minimalist shoes, because it's effortless in the sense that, you spend a couple bucks on a pair of shoes. Now each step you take is going to help your body not only get stronger but prevent pain. Ido Portal Squat Clinic, Ido Portal Hanging, Cador Ziani 7 postures, and then xeroshoes.com, XERO shoes.com. So hopefully this helps. Reach out with any questions. All right, thank you.